What is up, Mavs fans, NBA fans, Thunder fans, everybody tuning in? This is the All Things Mavs channel. That has not changed. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther. I'm here with my co-host, Austin Paine. A lot of Mavs fans for the first time seeing someone else rather than just me. Like I said, this is still going to be All Things Mavs, but we're going to kind of make this a broader NBA show. We're going to call it All Things NBA. Going to talk a lot of Thunder basketball because Austin's a Thunder fan. We're going to get into that. And then me being a Mavs fan, we don't hate each other, but it's not always pretty. But we want to talk all of it. So, Austin, kick it off. I mean, a lot of my followers know me. They know kind of my story with the Mavs and how we're here. But tell me, Mavs fan, Thunder fan, how it came about. Give it to me.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I've been in Oklahoma my entire life. Loved sports growing up. I moved to Edmond, right outside Oklahoma City, when I was like 7 years old. And right when that happened, Hurricane Katrina hit. The Hornets relocated to Oklahoma City. My dad was working for a large oil and gas company at the time, huge sponsor of the Hornets, huge sponsor of the Ford Center, which is now the Paycom Arena. And so we spent a lot of time growing up going to Hornets games for a few years. Then when they left and went back, and then Clay Bennett bought the Thunder, and they showed up, basically just been a fan ever since. So, love it. Have been through the ups and the downs. Remember very clearly the Harden era, that coming to an end. Remember extremely vividly the end of the Russ KD era, and then made it through the rebuild, and now we're champions, baby.
Now you're champions. Dude, I mean, I think everybody kind of understands the Mavs and Thunder rivalry, and it's very real. For those of you who don't know, I live in Oklahoma City now, so it kind of is tough because I'm just surrounded by Thunder fans all the time. I am not a Thunder fan. I've had a lot of my Mavs followers DM me or message me like, "What are you, a Thunder fan?" No, never a Thunder fan. Always a Mavs fan. But I am jealous of the title run, and being able to watch it up close was really cool. How did it come together the way it came? It was an incredible season. Yeah. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it because now we're in the offseason, so much has happened. But hit me with just how it all came together and how this season was such a perfect season for the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think Sam Presti honestly said it best. I think it was right after Game 7. He went on Scott Van Pelt, and he basically admitted, hey, I had full confidence in the process, but he was surprised that it came together this fast. So full transparency, I'm a Thunder fan, but I did not watch near every game through the tanking years. In fact, I hardly watched any. I kept up. I was in college at the time.
You weren't watching Alexei Pokusevsky?
I was not. I do have some love in my heart for Poku, but that's about it. So, but through that time, kept up with the drafting process, kept up with kind of the growth of Shai, acquiring Giddey, all these guys. I'm as surprised as anybody. I think coming off of last year, I would have told you I had confidence that we were going to win a title soon. But, man, you take it back 2 years ago and you get smashed by the Timberwolves in the play-in. I still thought we were 3 to 4 years away. So, it came together because I genuinely believe Sam Presti is the best GM in the NBA.
You don't think Nico Harrison's
I do not. I love Nico Harrison, though.
Yeah.
So, no, I think we've got what I would argue is one of the top 2 players in the NBA. We've got the top GM, and I would argue we have a top 3 coach and 2 rising stars. So that's how it came together.
You didn't say 3 rising stars. You don't put Chet in that rising star?
No. I think that Shai's there.
Yeah,
we have Dub. And we got Chet.
Oh, so you think? Okay, so Shai's not a right. Okay, all right, that's a star. I guess if you win MVP, you're kind of a solidified star.
Exactly.
I remember thinking last year after the Mavs bounced him out in 6 games. And PJ Washington's your kryptonite. Yep. And honestly, in my opinion, it was just it was a team that hadn't been there yet.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of why they got bounced. And I think the Mavs were honestly just playing on another level last year, obviously. But then coming into this year, I was so confident that the Thunder weren't going to go as far as they did. I made a bet with one of my friends, Austin, if you're watching, a different Austin, if you're watching. I made a bet that the Mavs would go further than the Thunder in the playoffs, and whoever won would have to pay for a steak dinner. I obviously lost because we didn't even make it out of the play-in. But that being said, I was still under the impression coming into this season for the Thunder that it was going to be you need one more year to get some experience under your belt. You got to get one more guy in there. You got Caruso, you got Hartenstein. I was I didn't think that was enough of experience to push you over the top, but it helped. It wasn't the end all be all, but it helped.
Well, and I don't think you're alone in that. I think this Thunder team in so many ways defied expectation and defied history. Like the teams this young don't win the title. I said even early in the playoff run, obviously my dreams are to win a title, but I just wanted to get to the Western Conference Finals. I wanted to get to the finals. Like I wanted to progress. I wanted to have a hard-fought series. And so I remember when we got through Denver feeling just a little bit of relief because it was like, okay, job's not near done, but we've progressed. We just beat the best player in the world. So, yeah, I don't think you're crazy for that at all. I think in many ways this team surpassed basically every expectation.
Yeah. Okay, so transitioning a little bit because we know the Thunder won. We saw how they won. It was incredible. I want to get, you kind of heard my outside perspective on the Thunder from last season. Like, as a Mavs fan, like I want to hear somebody that's from the outside looking in because when you're close to it, like you feel like you feel like you're on top of the world with the moves the Mavs have made this summer. But like, what is your expectation, the view of the Mavericks going into next season? I'd still consider the Mavs and Thunder rivals. I don't think anybody's a closer rival, even though y'all were so much further ahead of us than last year. Or last year being just the way it played out for the Mavs. But what is your expectation next season of what type of Mavs team you're going to see as an opponent?
Yeah. So one, for all Thunder fans listening, I am about to be complimentary of the Mavs, but I hate them.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. And I completely agree. Like I think I actually told you right when I called Jimmy the night that the lottery happened. And I think I actually told him that I was kind of excited the Mavs won because I wasn't ready for that Mavs-Thunder rivalry to be over.
Yeah.
And I'm excited it's back. So, again, I don't like the Mavs, but I think I can be pretty objective on this. I tweeted and I told you personally, like, I think the Mavericks are going to be the Thunder's best competition in a few years. That said, I don't think it's this year.
Oh, in a few years.
In a few years.
Okay.
Now, I don't think long. Like, I think give you 2 years and I think you're there.
Sure.
I think I'm a little, not a lot, I think I'm a little lower on the Mavs this year than you are, than a lot of Mavs fans. And I think even some just broad NBA journalists. I love the moves they made. Like, obviously, drafting Cooper Flagg, knockout. I think I love
fall into the number one pick.
Totally. Love the pickup of Nembhard. I like the D'Angelo Russell signing. However, I just don't quite see it being enough this year. Like, I would guess that the Mavs end anywhere from like the 5 to 8 range. And again, that's not hate at all.
No, I don't think it is.
I think what it ultimately comes down to me is a compliment to what I think Kyrie Irving is. Like, I hate the guy because of some of those threes he hit in Game 6, but I think Kyrie Irving's unbelievable. And I'm a little less convinced than some people that he's going to be back as early as they think he is.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm wrong, cool. But I also think that even if he does come back in time to help either a playoff run or kind of the final push in the regular season, I struggle to think he's at 100%.
Sure.
Not his knee, but more just like basketball shape, that kind of stuff. I think Cooper Flagg's going to be incredible. I think AD's good, but I've seen AD lose early with LeBron James.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think not next year, but the year after, the 26-27 season, I fully expect the Mavs to be meeting the Thunder pretty consistently in the Western Conference Finals, but I'm not too sure about next year yet.
I am overly confident. I'm overly optimistic. My subscribers, followers know that I have been optimistic about this team too much, but I think you're correct in that 5 to 8 range. I think that is all very realistic. We'll kind of go through our tiers and where we see the Western Conference playing out later. But I think the depth of this Mavericks team, I think it's the deepest. I really think top to bottom, deepest team in the Western Conference. Like, I don't have all the rosters in front of me right now, but if you're going through a 1 through 10 list, maybe 1 through 9 while Kyrie is out, like, there's not a Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, Max Christie, let's say when Kyrie comes back, D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench for any other team. A Daniel Gafford. I mean, Gafford should be 6th man of the year candidate if the Mavs are winning consistently. And if the problem was, I mean, Lively is never 100%. And so Gafford's going to start a bunch of games, so he's not going to be in that conversation. But I think this team, top to bottom, depth-wise, is so strong in depth in the regular season. Before you get to the playoffs, wins you a lot of basketball.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're preaching to the choir. Like, I would maybe disagree with you just to the point of saying I still kind of think the Thunder are the deepest team in the West. I think the addition of Sorber's big. We can talk about that later. But again, I'd say the Mavericks are right there.
Dude, I liked obviously the Thunder are the best team. They were the best team in the NBA. They won the championship. But depth wise, Who's coming off the bench?
Caruso and Cason Wallace.
Okay.
Isaiah Hartenstein, possibly, if you move the starting lineup.
Okay.
I love what you get from Kenrich Williams. I love what you get.
If you're throwing Kenrich Williams into depth
conversation,
I get it.
I get it. But I think, Aaron Wiggins is there. I am, as much as I met Isaiah Joe at a restaurant this year, nicest guy ever. I love him. I'm a little out on Isaiah Joe. He's a great sharpshooter.
Defensive liability.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love what you get from Aaron Wiggins. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a homer. We just won the title. I'm still on cloud 9. I love what we get from J. Will.
It's hard. I like J. Will too.
Yeah.
I always will. But I mean, it's a deep team. It's still the best team in the West.
Sure.
Depth-wise, and obviously I'm biased.
And we don't got to argue on this. I agree. I do agree with you, though. I think that will, help the Mavericks a lot this year. And I think that's why I feel great about them next year.
Yeah.
Get Cooper Flagg a year, get Kyrie back healthy, you keep 80% of that depth. Assuming that team's going to go very far.
And the thing that I think a lot of people just aren't talking about, or I think we've gotten to a point, and I talked about this, I was on Locked On Mavs the other night. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Me and Nick talked. But we talked about the hype around Cooper Flagg, and it's obviously a lot. Yeah. But so many people have gotten to the point where it's oh yeah, the Mavs are going to have a full season with Anthony Davis, and they're going to get D'Angelo Russell in the mix, and we're going to see a more established version of Derek Lively in his third full year. Oh, by the way, we got the best freshman to ever come out of college basketball, Cooper Flagg, just thrown onto the team. And I don't think it's getting talked about in the way that it should and how it's going to affect the team this year.
Agreed. No, I agree.
It's crazy.
I think that I'm higher on Cooper Flagg than probably 95% of Mavericks fans.
Yeah.
I think
than Mavs fans?
Dude, yeah.
I'm
just going to be honest. I think if you're looking at the last 25 years, the only two number 1 draft picks coming into the NBA that maybe you could have this much hype about, Wembanyama, which I think that's fair.
Wemby's always on a tier by himself.
Definitely. But then I think the only other one, and I'm not talking about future, just talking about hype coming in, is
Zion.
Yeah. So that said, I'm so high on Cooper Flagg. I think his defensive impact can immediately help the Mavericks. I think the offense will come along. So I'm incredibly high on him. I just think again, if you're looking at the Mavericks without Kyrie Irving, your big pieces right here, right now, and again, I've respect for PJ Washington because he killed us. I've got respect for some role players, but I'd say your big guys you're talking about are Anthony Davis. I'm super high on Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, aren't we all?
Breck.
Aren't we all?
That's crazy.
That's
Derek
wild,
Lively.
dude.
That's so lit. And then I think Cooper Flagg's going to be insane.
Yeah,
but I think it would be a little foolish to say, no, maybe not foolish, maybe a little overly excited about Cooper Flagg to say that
it's a good, nice way to say foolish.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be as good as 38-year-old LeBron with AD.
Okay. No. I agree.
So that all that to say, that's why I am kind of where I am with the Mavericks this year.
I'm with you.
I feel good about him going forward.
I get that. Other than that, Mavs offseason has been interesting. Dante Exum re-signed. That's kind of a good for depth piece while Kyrie is rehabbing. And I talked about it too. The Mavs are going to have to make one move. Somebody's got to lose a roster spot for Exum to fully come back. The interesting thing that's happened, a lot of news has come out today about the Mavs coaching staff. We lost Sean Sweeney to San Antonio. We lost Jared Dudley to Denver. We're losing God Shamgod to the Orlando Magic.
What a name.
What a name. The best name in the NBA. But we just added Jay Triano, who's got 20 years of coaching experience. Frank Vogel comes in as an associate head coach with Jason Kidd. Say what you want about Frank Vogel, but as an assistant coach, you're not going to get much better experience. And then today, Popeye Jones moves over from Denver. We steal him from the Nuggets. And they added Mike Penberthy from the Los Angeles Lakers, and then Phil Handy, who's best friends with Kyrie Irving, best friends with Anthony Davis. He's a great player relationship guy. We don't have to dive too much into coaches because I said this last time, coaches are coaches.
Sure.
You get what you get. But that's kind of the sum of the Mavs offseason. I don't expect them to make another move. If they did, it would be for a guard to continue to cover for Kyrie. But I think D'Lo's got that locked up. The OKC's offseason. Talked about their regular season. We talked about them winning the finals. Their offseason is super boring.
Yeah.
It's going to be any offseason after winning a championship should be boring if you're a fan.
Yeah.
But lots of contract extensions. Run through them. Give me your thoughts on them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the big one, obviously. So, I mean, the big one, obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander signs his Supermax. So 4 years, $285 million. Last year's a player option. But, I mean, the second this contract kicks in, he's the highest paid player in the NBA.
It's crazy.
I think very deserving. Like, he obviously brought this team to a place that Durant couldn't, that Westbrook couldn't. Not saying that Shai's better than Durant.
Do you think? Let's talk about it.
Sure.
Do you think Shai is the greatest Thunder ever?
The greatest Thunder ever? Yes.
Okay. I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, as far as skill wise, Kevin Durant's incredible. I think Shai can absolutely get there. But if we're just talking Thunder player, the way that he's played, the things that he's done the only thing that none of those guys could do, which was bring a title to OKC. So yes.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah, so Shai signs his Supermax. As of this morning, Chet signed a 5-year, $250 million extension. Not all of that's guaranteed, but that's going to kick in next year. The last big domino that we're waiting to fall is obviously Dub's extension.
But you're super high on Chet.
Because
there's some Thunder fans that aren't.
Yes, totally. I'm about as high on Chet as you can get. I spent a lot of the playoffs fighting with people via text.
Is it because you kind of look like him?
It definitely,
you're kind of built like him.
When anybody over 40 hates Chet because he's a skinny white center. As a skinny white man, I have to stick up for my bro.
So I was texting some other buddies, Thunder friends about this. Like, I agree you have to pay Chet.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pay him because that's the way the NBA works.
Sure.
If you don't pay your guys, like, you're screwed. You're not going to win anything.
Yeah.
Are you, like, worried at all about Chet, Shai, and Jada being all on these max contracts?
I mean, I'll be honest, no, especially not right now. Like, I think the thing that I kind of addressed in a tweet today and I've talked to some people about, like, I think...
By the way, real quick, we have All Things Thunder that is on Twitter. That's the Twitter he's referencing.
Yeah.
At all_things_OKC. That is not me. That is Austin running that account. And then, obviously...
the Mavs fans can leave Jimmy alone.
Yeah. And then, obviously, the All Things NBA account. That's me. More generic NBA talk.
Yeah.
So... go follow those two. Anyway, keep going.
Absolutely. So the thing that I've been seeing basically since winning the title is people talking about the second apron just standing over the Thunder like the Grim Reaper, and like that's just honestly not happening yet. Like the Thunder are going to go into next season and they're not even going to enter the tax.
That's crazy. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So I mean, the Thunder, Sam Presti has done an unbelievable job at structuring this team so that it's got staying power, and now I would be foolish to say that when we inevitably sign Dub to this max extension and we have these three guys taking up 80 to 85% of the salary cap, clearly we're going to have to make some moves away from people. But that's not now. I don't even think that's next year. I think we probably have 2 years where this team can stay together completely. Yeah. Now down the line,
that's
you
crazy.
might
2 years.
Exactly. I mean, you've got two cracks running it back with this exact same team, and we have enough picks that even when the time comes that you have to move on from a Lou Dort, or which I don't want to do, to be clear.
No.
Or a Case and Wallace. If
I
he
hate
wants to
Lou
go.
Dort.
I bet you do.
I genuinely I do not like that guy.
Gafford between the legs in that one game. I love Lou Dort. I get it. If I wasn't a Thunder fan, I'd hate him too, but he's my hero.
It's good to hear that somebody understands that.
No, I understand it, but I'm obsessed with him.
I mean, you should be. I would be. If he was a Maverick, I would think I would be too, but it'll never happen.
Yeah, I went to OU. Like, I understand everybody hates Baker Mayfield unless you went to OU. Like, I get it. Baker Mayfield's my hero. Lou Dort's my hero. But yeah, so I mean, that's to answer your question, I'm not overly worried immediately, but that's kind of getting back into it. We're expecting any day now. I mean, I've literally got my phone here, an extension from J-Dub. Like, it's going to happen probably around the exact same number that we're looking at from Shai. He's going to sign the max rookie deal. Other than that, few role players signed. J. Will signed a 3-year, $24 million deal. Super great to have him around. Like, that guy... Vibes guy. I'll be honest, too. Like, the minutes he gave the Thunder against Jokic in the second round, I just think we're unbelievable.
Well, he's a guy... When did he get drafted? Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
The year he got drafted, I think this is the year we got Jaden Hardy.
Yes.
And I was really high on Jalen Williams coming into that draft. And I think a lot of Mavs fans, that was a popular name going around Mavs Twitter at the time, because that's just a guy that, he took more charges in college than anybody, and he's big
got
man.
The record.
I mean, that's crazy. Yep. And so I was really high on him. I'm still I'm with you. Like, that's a guy that you just keep around for regular season mainly, and the right matchups.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he gave insane minutes in the Denver series and never saw the court in the next two. So that's just what his role is. He's comfortable with that.
He's not playing summer league, is he?
No.
Okay,
No summer league minutes from J. Will. So yeah, and I mean, lastly, Thunder signed A.J. Mitchell to a 3-year, $9 million deal. He, I think, is a super vital role for the Thunder. To get him at that price, I think is amazing. He's been incredible in the summer league, and he kind of serves that role of secondary point guard creator that the Thunder just don't have.
Yeah.
When Shai leaves the court, the half-court offense stalls. I do think that's going to be different with Dub this year, but that's a different story. Excited to have AJ back. Think it was a great deal and definitely worth signing.
Yeah. I mentioned Summer League with Jay Will. Mavs Summer League kicks off on Thursday night. Cooper Flagg. Look, the Mavs Summer League roster is low-key stacked.
Very good.
Cooper Flagg, Melvin Aginso was a second-round pick. Ryan Nimhart is going to be amazing to watch. Miles Kelly. There's just a lot of solid players that I'm excited to actually see for the Mavs. Obviously, Cooper Flagg being the headline going up against Bronny James Thursday night. So
he had a good little steal dunk the other night.
Dude, he did. It was athletic. But then, I think tonight he had 2 points.
Well, we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Bronny James too long. All right, so we talked about our teams. We focused on the Mavs. We focused on the Thunder. I want to hit on kind of just the Western Conference in general. We're going to do an Eastern Conference thing. We'll talk about it, but us both being invested in Western Conference teams, we're going to have our tiers. I want to talk about teams, what they did. And some of these we might breeze through. Some of them will spend a little bit longer. So I broke mine up into 5 tiers.
Yep.
And I think you did the same.
Yep.
So my first tier, I think we have the same first tier.
Yep, we do.
OKC, Denver, and Houston.
Yep.
Okay. So I honestly, when I did this, we talked about OKC, Denver with the Cam Johnson edition. Now, I'll be honest, with Cam Johnson and Michael Porter Jr., they're not that vastly different.
Basically a switch.
It's like, I think my guy's slightly biased on YouTube said this, but if they were ranking top 100 players, MPJ might be 65 and Cam Johnson might be 64.
Totally.
They're going to be right by each other. But the contract, what they did. But then on top of that, you had Tim Hardaway Jr., shooter they needed. Brought back Bruce Brown, who I honestly don't have a lot of hope for. He doesn't have a lot left in the tank. But maybe he's back in Denver. It kind of revitalizes him. I think Day'Ron Holmes coming in. He tore his Achilles last year as a rookie. He's going to have a season under his belt. The thing that I think keeps them, I almost did OKC and Denver as its own tier and then moved Houston down.
Yep.
But this Valanciunas thing is so funky that I don't think they've completely vaulted totally above the Rockets yet.
Sure. And I mean, news did break today. It sounds like Valanciunas is staying with Denver.
Doesn't sound happy about it.
Doesn't sound happy about it.
It's so weird to say.
You feel like if anyone can change a guy's attitude, it's winning 50-plus games with the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
Valanciunas is honestly kind of what vaulted Denver to me. I think you and I were talking before free agency opened, and we weren't that high on the Nuggets.
No.
Obviously they're going to be good with Jokic and Murray.
Yeah.
But I like the Cam Johnson trade. I do think he is a little better fit in Denver than Michael Porter Jr. Again, similar kind of player. But the Valanciunas thing is I think big because I couldn't tell you the last time Jokic had a true backup center.
Dude, it was DeAndre Jordan. The ghost of DeAndre Jordan.
Right, exactly. And Valanciunas, this is his first year in the league to come off the bench. That dude's been a starting center for a while.
Yeah.
So, I don't expect him to be a world beater by any means, but I do think him giving 15 minutes a night in regular season games just to give the Joker a break scares me.
Yeah.
So, I agree. I almost also had OKC and Denver. I mean, they're kind of their own tier, but ultimately put them in there with Houston.
Yeah, I mean, Houston, obviously the big splashy move was Kevin Durant. They bring back Capella. They signed Dorian Finney-Smith, which I think the Dorian Finney-Smith signing is head and shoulders above the Capella signing. You lose Jalen Green, you lose Dylan Brooks in order to get Kevin Durant, and then they re-signed all their guys. They're not losing anybody into free agency besides Jock Landale, I guess. I love what the Thunder are doing. I love what they're going for it. I hate the Rockets. The Rockets. Yeah. I hate the Rockets. I hate the Thunder too. But I will say I do think this Capella, Steven Adams, Alfred Şengün thing is really weird.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Capella's not good anymore. He's solid. He's a solid 12, 15-minute a night guy. He's not what he used to be. He's not when James Harden had him in Houston. And so I just don't know how well this trio of bigs is really going to work. But they have so many other good pieces around it that it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly loved every move that Houston made until the Clint Capella move. Because It doesn't make sense to me. Like, to me, it does scream that they're going to play a lot of double big and that
Yeah.
they need another center. And I know they had success with the double big lineup down the line.
Sure.
But by and large, I mean, the two things that stick out to me are obviously the Durant trade. Like, they couldn't buy a bucket in the fourth quarter of any of those games against Golden State. And now you've got arguably the best ISO scorer in the league. But I love the signing of Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
I think he's very good. I think he's a great, at this point in his career, just, good 3-and-D wing. And I think that's perfect for them. I'm high on the pieces that they're bringing back. And with the addition of those two guys, I do think Houston's going to be a pretty good team.
It hurts my heart. I saw Jason Terry play for the Rockets, and now I got to watch Dorian Finney-Smith play for the Rockets. And that is a Mav for life. Like, he was there when we made the run to the Western Conference Finals. Should have been there. Like, I wish he could have been there when we made the run to the finals last year. But yeah, I'm glad that he's leaving LA.
Yeah.
And it sounds like LA really screwed him over, tried to screw him over on the way out. But we'll see. I mean, he is 32 years old.
Yeah.
We'll see how much he has left in the tank.
Yeah.
Same with Kevin Durant. I mean, you never know when Father Time is all of a sudden just going to decide he's washed.
I think that's the reason that I was toying with putting them one tier lower because health matters, and Durant, incredible, I'm just assuming they're penciling in him being out for 20 games.
Sure.
And that's fine. I think they can cover for that. But if he's not healthy, 100% healthy when the postseason rolls around, I just don't think the Houston Rockets has much of a chance.
The other thing that could hold Houston back, and we'll move on after this, but the other thing that could hold Houston back is their only backup guard to Fred VanVleet is Reed Shepherd. And Reed Shepherd was the number 3 pick 2 years ago. Didn't really play at all last year. Yeah. We'll see how he looks in Summer League. I'm excited to see that. You never take too much away from Summer League. But your only guards are Van and Reed Shepherd to set up all those guys. Yeah. Amen Thompson is amazing. I love watching the Thompson twins play. But he's more of like your wing, can kind of go get his own bucket if he needs to the rim. But like setting guys up, it's VanVleet and it might be Reed Shepherd if he can evolve.
Totally, I agree. And last thing for me on them, I do have a few minor concerns as well now rotationally with defense. I think they're obviously an incredible defensive team, and I'd be shocked if they fell out of the top 5 when it comes to total defense. So maybe this doesn't matter, but I do think you get lineups out there where Durant's out there and Şengün's out there at the same time. There's guys that you can attack.
And what if Steven Adams is on the floor or Capella with those two, you're going to ISO out any of those guys.
Right, exactly. So, again, all that to say, I think we're both high on the Rockets.
Obviously, they're in our first tier. They're not bad.
I hate the Rockets too, so it's painful to do this. I would say they're in tier 1, but maybe just a tiny bit behind OKC.
Yeah, I agree. So, second tier, this is where we differ. Mm-hmm. So, I've got Dallas, the Clippers, and the Timberwolves.
Yep. Yeah, I've got Dallas, Timberwolves, Lakers.
Okay. So, I'll tell you why I got the Clippers. Now, the Clippers also are, it sounds like they're on the brink of adding Bradley Beal and Chris Paul. Say what you want about those two. They're both kind of washed in their own right. But, adding them to a team that's not very deep, with the team that needs depth like the Clippers. They also added Brook Lopez. Right. Again, another old, washed guy a little bit. But better than any backup than Zubac has ever had.
Yeah, definitely.
I hated the Norman Powell for John Collins.
Agreed.
I think John Collins he does not play winning basketball.
Yeah.
But the one caveat I'll make, and I think Norman Powell was really special to them last year, the caveat I'll say on Collins is James Harden with a pick-and-roll big that can finish lobs does scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, you're looking at Harden, Kawhi, Brook Lopez, potentially Bradley Beal, potentially Chris Paul. Yep. You're relying on those 5 guys a lot.
Which that's exactly why I went with them a tier lower than you did.
And I could have easily.
I think potential, sure, their potential's good. I just think you've got a lot of age on that team. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the trade either. To me, that screamed that they were opening a spot to probably try to get Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
And I actually do think Beal can still be good.
I do too, especially on a minimum contract.
Completely.
Hate him on a $30 million contract, absolutely. Like him on a minimum, or a mid-level, whatever.
Yeah. It is. So I kind of think that the Clippers might be where they were this past year.
Yeah.
They make it into the playoffs and maybe get bounced in round 1.
Yeah, I think so too. And then we both had Minnesota, and I think that's you just kind of have to respect them because of who they have with Anthony Edwards. They haven't done anything this summer. They drafted Behringer from France. I don't know anything about him. He's just a big man. I guess Rudy Gobert pushed for him. But they lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which I think is a big loss for them. And if they're relying on Conley, that scares me. But I'll give them props. if you're a basketball fan, I think you love watching Anthony Edwards play basketball. And I think he's going to take another step forward this year. It needs to be in shot creation for others. Like, that needs to be his next step, because if they're relying on Conley and Rob Dillingham as their point guards, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. But this is a team that I could see making a little bit of a splash in the trade market.
Yep, agreed. I don't have much to add there. I'm extremely high on Ant. Yeah. I love the guy. I think he's an incredible player. He's fun to watch. I hated them getting rid of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I am so high on him. Part of it was watching him drop 30 against the Thunder and almost pull off a win. I think he's incredible. I think he's amazing defensively. Don't like that move, but always got to keep them there because they've been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row.
So the team we differ on, I had the Clippers, and you put them in tier 3.
Yep.
You had the Lakers in tier 2. Why do you have the Lakers above the Clippers, or just in tier 2 in general?
Yeah, I mean, cover your ears, Mavs fans. I'm extremely high on Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I get it.
Think he's unbelievable. And I'll say this. By and large, the DeAndre Ayton thing is weird. I don't think that highly of him as a player. However, he is better than Jackson Hayes.
Yes.
And I would argue maybe significantly.
Okay.
Not because...
I think I disagree.
Well, that's fine. I wouldn't push too hard on that. I would just say I don't think very highly of Jackson Hayes at all. I think that DeAndre Ayton...
Is it because he went to Texas?
I don't like UT, I'll tell you that. I think DeAndre Ayton has it as far as talent goes. I think whatever's going on between the years is the issue. But anyway, the reason I say that is they were, the 3 seed this past year.
Is that what they finished as?
3 or 4.
Dude, that's
I think it was the
crazy.
3. And I at the end of the day, I struggled to bet against Luka. And again, I'm sorry, Mavs fans.
I know.
I think he's just so good. And
I mean, I'll say this: he's done a lot more with a lot less of a roster.
Yep.
But here's my big question marks. I think I'm lower on Ayton than you are. I think
Probably.
The Portland Trailblazers spending as much money as they spent to get rid of him is insane to me. And the fact that they chose Donovan Clingan, Hanson Yang, and Rob Williams over DeAndre Ayton says a lot to me. And especially a team that, they say they want to win, but they're also young and rebuilding. Yep. Well, Ayton is good for either of those, hypothetically. And then I think Dorian Finney-Smith is going to kill him, losing him, because their defense, dude, it's going to be abysmal. Austin Reeves is not a good defender. I know he's your OU guy, but he's not a good defender.
Yep.
We know Luke is not a good defender. Luke is a better defender than people give him credit for, but he's not a good defender.
Agreed.
LeBron is cooked defensively, unfortunately. Ayton, who freaking knows? And then Rui Hachimura is your 4. Yep. That's my big concern with the Lakers. And I think Laker fans love Jake LaRavia. Yep. I liked him coming out of the draft. Now he's proven that he's not really a great NBA player. That's their only move.
Yep.
Now there's a rumor going around that they might go for D'Anthony Melton, which I think would be very helpful. They might go for Bradley Beal and get him. Either of those guys would help, but still wouldn't keep them out of I have them in my next tier. It's not like I'm super lower on them.
Totally.
And I do think Luka, if he comes in shape like everyone says he's going to have an MVP level season because that's who he is.
Yep.
But is it enough? I don't know.
Yep.
But moving into the next tier, I've got 2 California teams. I've got the Golden State Warriors. I've got the Los Angeles Lakers. And then I've got San Antonio Spurs, Memphis Grizzlies.
Yep.
So that's my tier, tier 3?
Yeah,
so
I'm the same. We just switched LA.
LA teams. Yeah. I mean, top to bottom, the San Antonio Spurs, incredible draft. Yep. Besides the Mavs lucking into Cooper Flagg, getting Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant is a great draft for them. They add 2 big men, Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk, neither of which are really needle movers, but better than who they had last year backing up Wemby. And then, they traded Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley, who I like both those guys, but for what I think the Spurs want to do, they're going to be competitive, is too much. I still think they're just so young is the big thing. But the fact that they have, we don't even talk, Stephon Castle won Rookie of the Year last year.
They've got the 2 reigning back-to-back Rookie of the Year.
That's crazy. They got De'Aaron Fox, who nobody even seems to care about anymore, but it's still De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
And then I think everybody's assuming Wemby's coming back healthy, and it's the best defensive guy. He's terrifying.
Yeah.
He is terrifying defensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
So keeping them or putting them any lower, I think, would be a mistake.
Agreed. Yeah. they, to me, are like my kind of boom or bust team.
Sure.
Like, I could see if they stayed healthy and Wemby's in year 3, Castle keeps playing the way that he does. You've got
By the way, Spurs re-signed Jordan McLaughlin too, so that's obviously the biggest needle mover of the night. Yeah.
I could see them being really good. Like,
Yeah.
I could see them pushing, high 40s, low 50s in wins. I could also see them kind of having another year like this where they kind of go 500. So they could be a lot of different things, but always excited for the potential to watch Wemby.
Yeah, the other team, 2 other teams in there, the Golden State Warriors, I quietly or currently, like, I hate their roster. I almost put them a whole tier lower, but a tier lower I think would have been disrespectful because they still have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. Like, but that's an old trio, dude, to be around. And they're looking at Al Horford, who's between either retirement or joining the Warriors. So, like, that is just an old team that is – their ceiling's what, a first-round exit?
Yeah, right. Well, I agree with you. Like, kind of what you were talking with Durant, that at a certain point, Father Time does just catch up, and it's going to happen to this team. Yeah. I don't think it'll be this year. I think Steph's got another good year or 2 in him. I think Jimmy definitely does.
Here's my thing about Butler.
Yeah.
The dude doesn't care about the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll cook in the playoffs, but, like, and this team needs regular season wins in the Western Conference, and I don't think Jimmy's going to provide enough of that to keep them out of, I think, play-in territory.
Yeah, I just also think they need a center.
Yeah,
like,
it's Trace Jackson Davis. That's their only big man.
I just don't understand. Like, I love Draymond as a defender, but, man, I just don't get it.
Well, there's also Jonathan Kuminga potential sign and trade. Maybe they get something back for that. We'll see. As of right now, I don't have them making it out of the play-in or in the play-in. What am I trying to say? Above the play-in.
Right.
And then in that same category, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Weird offseason so far. Traded Bane.
Yep.
I don't think KCP is anywhere close to Desmond Bane. I don't think even if you combine KCP and Ty Jerome, like that is not enough for me to replace Bane.
I agree. I'm really high on Bane. Like, they obviously re-signed Triple J. John Morant's coming back. I just don't get it. Like, I think that I don't know.
Maybe here's another thing. Triple J's hurt.
Yep.
He has freaking turf toe.
Yep.
He's out for like 4 months or something, potentially. I don't know if it's actually that long. Edie's out for a while.
Long time. Yeah. And then
they just traded Jay Huff.
Yep.
Or cut him or whatever they did with him. And I mean, he was like their only backup big. I don't know who's playing big man for them.
I don't either. And I mean,
Brandon Clark coming off an Achilles tear? I don't. That's it.
That better not be it.
Yeah.
I mean, the question too with Ja is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, he's about as fun of a guy as there is to watch.
100%.
Never know with them.
That's the Grizzlies. Next tier, I mean, we're not going to spend a lot of time on these next 2 tiers, but the second to last tier, I've got Sacramento, New Orleans, Phoenix, Portland.
Same.
I mean, all those teams feel the exact same.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, Sacramento hasn't done anything besides sign Dennis Schroeder, and that's not enough.
Yeah.
The Pelicans have had a weird offseason.
Yeah.
They're another boom or bust team,
Agreed.
but also their boom is like 16.
Yes, I totally agree. Like, I think, I mean, they've shown in the past that when Zion's healthy, they can be a good team.
Yeah.
Zion's rarely healthy, and I just am not sure about their draft. Like, I know you guys.
I was going to say, I'm a big Fears guy.
I like Fears a lot. I'm not sure about the move to get Derek Queen, and I don't think it definitely wasn't worth the pick they gave up. Because to me, if Queen's good, is he not just Zion?
But he's not athletic like that.
Right.
Like, he's more like Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Team moves
like
Zion.
Imagine a point guard rotation of Fears, Jordan Poole, and Jose Alvarado.
Nobody's getting the ball.
So weird. I don't know. They could be fun. They also signed Kevon Looney, who I don't think moves the needle for them, but he's a grown-up in the room, I think, for them. But Herb Jones is really good if he can stay healthy. Trey Murphy is really good if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
It's all
I think of this tier 4, like, they probably have the most potential to
Agreed.
So they're definitely a fun watch.
Phoenix, they still have Devin Booker, but I like the Malawatch. I mean, the Malawatch draft pick is the best value draft pick of the night.
Yep.
Like, the fact that he fell to 10 is a joke. Rich Paul made a call to make it happen. They traded for Mark Williams, who, I mean, the dude's back is cooked.
Yeah.
Like, so what do we know about that? They lose Tyus Jones. They trade KD away. They get Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks. They don't have a point guard.
No, not at all. I mean,
And they didn't last year.
Well, and weird to go from no bigs to 2. I don't know. They're not even that interesting to me, if I'm being honest. I don't feel like they've got no picks, so like I don't even know why tank. They just feel like a very weird limbo team.
Yeah, I agree. Portland is barely staying in this tier instead of falling to our. By the way, spoiler alert: our final tier is just the Utah Jazz. That's the only team in that tier because they are just so bad. But like Portland wants to be competitive.
Yeah.
They have pieces to be like interesting, but like Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday is your big two.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like I love Drew as a role player. Like I think he was incredible in Boston, but I don't think he moves.
I don't understand unless they. I don't know what their draft pick situation is, but unless they don't have their draft pick this year, I don't understand why they would go for anything besides a higher draft pick because they could be right up there with Portland or with Utah to be the worst team. So that's the teams. I mean, that's the Western Conference. Yeah. We'll see how it shakes out. I think we're in agreement for those top 5-ish seeds in some order.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's going to be interesting. There's still a lot of off-season, like little moves around the fringes, but the bulk of everything has been done.
Yeah.
So listen, we are hoping to do this once a week.
Yep.
We'd love to get a show out once a week, just talking generic NBA. Again, we're going to focus still. This is still going to be a lot of Mavs on this channel. We're going to do a lot of Thunder talk as well. I'm sorry, Mavs fans, that makes you mad, but we're going to do it. And then, we're going to focus a lot on just the generic NBA because we just need an outlet to talk hoops. So, Austin, tell them where they can find you on Twitter.
Yep, absolutely. So all things Thunder on Twitter. It's been real fun. A lot of you guys hopping on board. So Thunder fans, come find me there. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, y'all know to subscribe, like the video, comment, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time.